You are tuned in to the MediMagZA Podcast. Hi guys, if you just tuned in, welcome to the MediMag Podcast. We've got Dr. Sthembiso Mhlanaga on the line with us. Of course, he's got such a rich history of perseverance. I've got to tell you, if you read MediMagZA, you'll see the full written interview. But today we have him on the line, and of course, we're going to be chatting to him about everything dermatology. He's also now an ambassador for the African Health Excellence Awards for the second time, a business owner amongst many things, and of course, a specialized or specialist dermatologist. Welcome, Dr. Mhlanaga.
Welcome, Clive. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to speak to your listeners. Thank you so much for inviting me to the MedMag's magazine. Yes.
Thank you, Doc.
Uh,
Thank you, Doc. Let's get into it. I mean, why dermatology?
yeah, actually, funny enough, is that on my final year, we were speaking with my friends and on undergrad. So speaking about what is it that one wants to do, and I am the first one who said that no, I wouldn't want to do dermatology because it's a female specialty. No.
Mm,
Funny enough, few years later, I am a dermatologist. Yeah. So really, what happened was that I was actually interviewed to take up a post in internal medicine, and but it was for internal medicine and dermatology in that hospital at Stanger. They were actually mixed. Dermatology is under internal medicine. So they were actually interviewing me for a post in internal medicine, but because of the MO in dermatology had just left, so
hmm
they said I will just look after the department for the time being. And fortunately for me, I fell in love. What happened was that we admitted a patient with cutaneous cryptococcosis in the ward, and she was so depressed. She had this lesions on the face, that was generalized, and we started on amphotericin. We treated her, and we discharged her. Later, within a month, coming back, somebody's greeting me and I could not recognize. I'm like, sorry, do I know you? He's like, no, I'm the patient you had admitted in the ward. Remember me? Then, I could, see so much improvement. I could not even recognize it. So that's actually what made me fall in love with dermatology, that you can actually see the effect of the treatment. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing dermatology now. Yeah.
No, definitely. I think with other, fraternities in medicine, like surgery, for instance, the patient doesn't always get to even acknowledge the doctor. And I think with dermatology, they
Definitely.
come seeking you for hopefully answers, to their issues. And when they do recover, I think in seeing the patient, it's such a reward for you as a doctor.
That's That's right. Yeah. And just to add a bit on that, it's that generally, the patients in dermatology are not too sick. We do get very sick patients that need admission, and but generally it's an outpatients department field. So generally the patients are well, and that's also the good part about dermatology. Yes.
Perfect. Doc, I know with most of the faculties of medicine, innovation plays a massive role. Talk to us about some of the technological advancements in dermatology currently.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we are living in the fourth industrial revolution, and so the age of AI. And But just before I speak about AI, it's technology has allowed us to actually reach even patients that are far, who do not have access to dermatology. To be precise, in South Africa, we have just under 300 dermatologist,
Mm.
according to the HPCSA, the stats that were released last year around September. So for 67 million people that are in South Africa, I mean, that's the ratio of a dermatologist to a patient. It's far too small.
Mm.
So teledermatology has allowed us to be able to discuss with practitioners, give advice to patients that are far and therefore receiving, care. So number one, that's the first point that technology has done, and of course with AI now, big debate is AI going to take over our jobs as dermatologists? And the answer is no. However, it has made a significant, and still we are still learning about AI and how to actually use. Patients now can self-diagnose. They can read more about the condition and come to you as a dermatologist already. They know some of the things, some of the issues that are causing, and they can be able to avoid them. So now we are dealing with a more informed patient. I know that at times it poses a challenge to us having a patient who wants to ask us a lot, but actually it puts us in a position where we can better inform them about the information that is there. So that is another aspect. So we are able to offer dermatology services to a wider patients, and it has improved the kind of patient that we are dealing with
Mm.
in our days. Yeah.
That's remarkable, Doc. I mean, aside from the clinical specialist listening in, for the everyday guy, I think a lot of people, when they think dermatologist, they're like, okay, doc's gonna help us with acne issues. How skin deep does dermatology go? Like, what fractions do you actually cover?
Yeah. We cover a lot. So for a non-dermatology physician or a medical professional, every lesion looks the same. Understand? So we look at the different patterns that the skin lesions present with, and therefore we are able to give a diagnosis that is actually going to help the patient who does not belong to dermatology, probably has been admitted by a surgeon or a physician or a gynecologist, of which having that diagnosis is important in order to manage their condition. So our conditions vary. I'll give you the top five
Mm.
conditions that we deal with globally. So atopic dermatitis, where patients present with a dry and itchy skin. It commonly affects children, but it can also affect adults as well. We deal with acne. Acne is common, is the second commonest disease in the global burden of diseases, is the second commonest disease. It affects teenagers due to hormones. However, as well, that being said, we can also have steroid induced. A lot of our patients, especially African patients who want to become yellow bones, they go and buy
Mm.
these products that have steroids, and unfortunately, they end up with steroid induced acne. We can go further and talk about hair. Hair is a big thing, especially amongst women. It's what makes the it's also what makes a difference between a man and a female. So now we are seeing a lot of diseases because of how people groom their hair.
Mhm.
Especially the ladies, they will do braids. All these hairstyles, they contribute at the end to hair loss. So we see a lot of that in our days. And of course, now aesthetics as well. People want to look younger.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's also coming up in the market quite a bit. But we deal with a variety of diseases, very sick patients with autoimmune blistering diseases, or there's lupus, which is one of the commonest diseases, infections, especially in the rural areas. I can go on and on. dermatology is big.
Yeah.
I cannot cover it within this interview.
No, it's
Yes.
incredible. Like I said, I mean, a lot of people think dermatologists, they're like, okay, it's probably just for acne or something minor. And it's actually so much more skin deep. So that's actually really, really interesting. Doc, I know that you're a lecturer. You're also involved in research and community development. Now, why do you think that is so important? Why is it so pivotal to get the education out there?
Yeah. All right. So thanks for that question. I mean, I am currently an honorary lecturer at VETS. I teach fifth years. I teach medical officers as well as a registrar. Based here, I'm based here at Clarkstop and Sepong Hospital. So that is important. Actually, I mean, we find that according to the way the curriculum is placed, we find that interns they cannot describe a lesion, and this becomes even worse as the doctors, medical officers, they progress in terms of their years.
Mm,
So, dermatology is not taught much in detail, and that is one of the commonest conditions that a doctor will see during community service when you are in that clinic alone. So it's very important for us to start teaching, and as well research. You spoke about research.
mm,
Currently involved with the VETS consortium here at Classroom. There is perinatal HIV research unit that I've been part of while I was writing my exams and continue to be part of as well. It's important for us to get new knowledge. That's how we're able to serve our patients better, develop drugs that are more efficient, are able to bring about improved condition much quicker. So research is important. Research on new diseases as well. So yeah, research is very important. I cannot ever emphasize that.
No, I really, really love that. I think education really, really is power. Doc, I know you've presented at various platforms. I mean, being a specialist dermatologist, I know one of your biggest noteworthy roles was the World Congress of Dermatology. Now, what was that like?
Yeah. So I mean, I presented at the World Congress of Dermatology in 2023. That was in Singapore.
Mm,
Uh, for a Kasi boy like me who grew up in Davidton, Etwatwa, the township, it was my first time flying out of the country, not to mention, out of Africa, overseas. So that experience for me was just, I was just in disbelief that
mm,
someone like me is flying out and interacting with world experts in the field of dermatology. It's a moment that I will forever cherish in my life. I presented two poster presentations. On one was pemphigus vulgaris, and the other one was on my research when I was doing my master's as well. Yeah, I've gone further to present in Lisbon last year, actually, in Lisbon. This was a research European funded scholarship as well. So yeah, it's really great to interact with world experts. You find people, you get challenged as well. It's a further confidence booster that yeah, a Kasi boy like me is not doing too bad. You have the
yeah.
potential to do even better than we are. Not allowing your background to determine where you end up in life. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, just reading your Q&A in MediMagZA, the magazine itself, I was truly inspired. And I've got to say props to you for your journey and perseverance. We know that aside from specialist dermatologist, Dr. Mhlanga also went one step further and he's got Mhlanga skincare. Doc, chat to us about this business of yours.
Yeah. Yes. So I mean, this is a brainchild that I got in conceived in 2021 as a registrar. Not to me, but I started to see a gap that, especially after COVID, most of we've moved to this to the platform of Zoom,
Mm,
so also making use of teledermatology as well. So I actually used to consult patients at a very affordable price. Those who can't have access to dermatologists, I
mm,
mean, you come to a dermatologist, they will charge you 1,000 rand if they're cheap, first consultation. And not many of us have that kind of money. So I started with that, developed Mhlanga Skincare. So currently we have three branches, main branches here in Klerksdorp, and another one in Potchefstroom in Mediclinic, and the one that I started this year is in Velcom. Yeah, so we offer excellent and individualized tailored management to our patients. I'm young, vibrant. Also my staff, I love my staff so much because they just bring that young aspect to the practice. And
mm.
yeah, we love our patients, and we go all out, to make sure that we educate them about their condition and being mindful of the current economic situation of our country as well. Yes.
Mm. No, I mean, look, I've looked through your brand as well. It comes across as non-intimidating. Someone would want to contact you. It's almost at ease. You speak the language of the youth vibe. And I think it makes it very approachable for youth or adults alike. So I think that's amazing. I like the fact that
Thank
you've
you.
quoted a mantra by John C. Maxwell, if I may read
Yeah.
it. I have failed a lot in my life, and there's more material written about success than failure. Whereas we encounter failure more often than success. So, one of my all-time favorite books is Failing Forward. Now, give us a bit about that and why is it such a motivation for you?
Yeah. Uh, actually, I read this book on my fourth year. So I failed my fourth year. I failed internal medicine. And it's one of the blocks that once you fail it, you have to repeat the whole block,
Mm,
the whole year actually. And I mean, medicine in our class, I mean, we're very few. And so, and at UCT, they'll actually give you a number, that you are first year, second year. And so when somebody bumps into you and say that, okay, I saw that number last year and I still do continue to see it this year. So that means it can only mean that you failed. Yeah.
mm,
So, I mean, you ask any successful business person today, they've met failure. Failure, it's a matter of when. It's not a matter of if.
mm,
We failed, and if you haven't failed, you will fail. And the biggest thing about that is that you need to don't personalize it. Don't personalize failure. You're not a failure, but you've just failed an exam. You've just failed a test. You've just failed, a subject. But you yourself, it doesn't say anything where you are going to end up in life, where you come from, the abilities that you have. So one needs to so one person once said actually that in every failure, there is an element of success that's trapped within it. One needs to take the time to uncover the failure in order to discover the success for the next attempt. So it's about learning from your failure and using it in order to succeed next time. It's your first attempt in learning. That's what fail means. First
mm,
attempt in learning. Yeah. So I mean, I can speak quite a bit on the subject. Yeah, but life does not prepares us most of the
mm,
time to succeed, but never or very few times or very few material is available on how do I deal with failure. I've
mm,
just failed metric. And then a person goes and commits suicide because they have failed. But
mm.
there are other opportunity. You can rewrite again, yeah.
Yeah, no, there was so much richness in your response to that. It gave me goosebumps. So that is a complete inspiration on its own, Doc. Any advice for the MediMag ZA listeners out there on skincare, just daily skincare tips that you can offer us?
All right. So the first thing one needs to understand is that your skin, it's like when you are in reception, it's 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 what represents you. So I normally say that, take care of your skin. It will represent you for a very long time. When a person comes to you and say hello, when they greet you, they do not look at your heart. They do not look at your liver, your
Mm,
kidneys. But the first point where they look at it's they look at your face, they look at your skin. So that's why your skin is very important. Importantly as well, the skin is the largest organ in the body compared to any other. So just to share a few tips is that it's important for you to stay hydrated, at least every day. Drink 8 cups of water per day. Your body comprises mostly of water. About probably a rough estimate, 70% it's water. There are cells that are building up that organ, and those cells are filled with water. So you need to maintain hydration. It's important for skin elasticity and as well as moisturize. And importantly, I know that we work hard, uh, demands at work, demands from the family, and we tend not to rest. Sleep is very important. It helps with repairing of your body cells and regenerating of the skin cells as well. So aim at least 7 hours per day, a good night of rest. It promotes a healthy skin turnover. And it's also important for one to use sun protection, sunscreen. It's important. Why? I know that others can not know. Sunscreens are for lighter skinned, individuals or races. But actually, it's important. The sun, in as much as it offers us vitamin D, but they have wavelengths that are actually dangerous for our skin. That's why with higher with more exposure to the sun, you end up with skin cancers. And for one who is not a lighter skin person, it actually decreases the collagen and the elasticity of the skin. That's why when you get old, the skin starts sagging because of you get wrinkles as well. So it's important for one to use sunscreen, at least to use a sunscreen that has a sun protective factor of 30 and more. The
mm,
more, the better, actually. Yes. And last one is get good ways of managing or reducing stress. So stress, we've heard about stress. It's involved in many of the diseases. And in terms of the skin, it actually triggers acne. You find that you flare up during when you're stressed, eczema as well, and psoriasis. These are most common, one of the commonest skin conditions. So it's important for one to get good stress management techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, yoga, physical exercises. Those are good ways of trying to manage your stress. Yeah.
No, I love this. Thank you so much for that invaluable advice. And I completely agree with you there. When someone does meet you, they don't see your liver, they don't see your kidneys, they see your skin. And I think it's such a big representation of who you are as a person. Doc, on our final note, how does someone get in touch with Mhlanga Skincare?
All right. So we are in most of the social media platforms. We are in Facebook, Dr. Sthembiso Mhlanaga. You can also follow us on Instagram as well, Dr. underscore TS underscore Mhlanaga, and as well as we are also on TikTok as well, the same, and on LinkedIn. But importantly, to make appointments, we can call us at 018 468 7207. 018-468-7207. The ladies there are very friendly. They'll be able to assist you with the bookings. Yes, and of course, our branches are at Mediclinic, Port, we are at Mediclinic, Welcome, we are also main branch, which is in Klerksdorp at 20 Hartley Street. You can pay us a visit there.
Thank you so much, Doc, for joining us once again. We know you're very, very busy, but thank you for your insights. Thank you for your education to the nation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Clive, for inviting me.
Thank you for listening to the MediMagZA Podcast.